everyone.
Hello, everyone. Here we are again. Checked Out Retail Stories podcast. You know, this is the podcast where we take you behind the scenes. We take you to the stories that got us started, the people that helped us to get where we are today, that we learned from, that we had crazy experiences with. And, we're here to share. And I'm Ryan Sprankle, and that's my brother.
Doug Sprankle, guys. Can't wait today. We have an institution, a Western Pennsylvania institution, the Pink Gold, known as Hamloaf, guys. Talking today to the founder, well, not founder, actually, second generation, we found out during the interview, our friend, Gahr's Hamloaf, and our friend Jake to talk all things Hamloaf. Can't wait, guys. It's a Pennsylvania institution. If you've never had it, it's the sweetest ham in the world.
We're going to talk about everything from a closing time Nomad to, of course, ham. You know, we're going to talk about ham, a lot of history about ham, ham loafs, and all the hams in between.
More hams you can shake a stick at. I can't wait, though, Ryan. This week's episode, I've been saving this story for 20-something episodes. It has been a story that I've been wanting to tell you since 2005. It's my Shawshank Redemption story. Can't wait to tell you about that. Can't wait to see what's in the bag this week. I hear it was crinkling. It's a big bag of something. We'll see what's going on there. And as always, I can't wait to hear the corporate words. We were at MDI dinner talking to the guys, and literally they used the word, we're going to take this off the channel or take it off. Offline. And it was just so funny. So we learned a lot, but yeah, no, super excited. It's going to be a great episode. But you know what, guys? We can't do what we do without our friends at Pennsylvania Skill Alliance. Guys, without genuine PA skill games across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, supporting small businesses, fraternal orders, firefighter organizations, and nonprofits, keeping the lights on, the doors open, and their crew members employed. Guys, thank you so much. For more information to play genuine PA skill games, check them out at paskillgamealliance.org. And remember, it's skill, not luck, baby.
What is this, your first time? It's not PA Skill Alliance. It's not paskillgamealliance.org.
I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah, it's www.paskillalliance.org.
Baby.
It's skill, not luck, baby. Woo! That's where the gong hit. Boom. Boom. But hey, this week, what's happening? I'll tell you what's happening with me, Doug. I'm just going to jump right into it. Mother's Day ordering. You're a pretty savvy online guy, ordering guy, whatever.
What are you talking about, for the store or for yourself?
No, for brand.
Oh.
Yeah, brand. And
usually you call me and I order it.
Yeah. Normally I do. Actually, the thing is, we know the evolution of retail. We try to support local as much as possible, get the flowers, all that kind of stuff. But, if you want to get like items and you want to get it on the fly, you have no choice but to order it online. Well, Cam and I, my daughter Cam, for those of you who don't know, I have a daughter Cam. I have another very small daughter, Charlotte, and I have a son, older son, Colt. And they know. He was on the podcast. But Cam and I are the worst combination of people to order anything. Well, I mean, it's honestly like a funny tradition, and we don't do it on purpose. We're just both kind of out there. We're both like, we have some kind of mental disorder that causes us not to be able to focus. I don't know. But so going into Mother's Day, I text Cam. Colt, he does his own thing. He just goes along with whatever Cam and I get for brand. So I knew that she really wanted muck boots for walking around the farm, walking through the woods, just being able to confidently walk wherever. They're the greatest thing ever. And I have a pair, and I wear them all the time. I wear them to work most of the time. Well, we take the muck. I got online, found the muck boots that I thought she'd like the look of, and the little webbing was perfectly. The muck boots, the top, they have that little like webbing.
Oh, the mesh.
The mesh.
Yeah.
And that's where you add the style in. It's like a rubber boot. For those of you not familiar with muck boots, it's a rubber boot, but it looks nice.
Yeah.
And the top always has some pizzazz to it. So I found the right one. I was so proud of myself. Get on there. I'm like ordering it up. Click, boom, send, done, paid for. Okay, great. On to the next gift. No. Confirmation comes back. Bing. No. 106 Virginia Drive. It's shipping to.
Ooh.
I mean, I used a new card, but like it reverted back to my previous address. So then I got to go and text the person that bought the house from us, texting her, you know, and Maria, thank you, by the way, for your help. But texting her, trying to go back and forth, oh, look out for this package. Okay, I'll let you know when it's here. Whole thing. So now I tried to make it easy. No, now I have to, she got her involved. I'm sure she had better things to do than worry about my, you know, what was happening.
Wait, you made her drive to meet you?
No, but she's still, you know, it was still, I'm sure she's, you know, busy and it's Mother's Day for her. I don't want to put her out. It's one more thing she had to like regulate, you know, worry about, is it coming?
Right.
Let Ryan know when it's here. Ryan comes and gets it. Then I had to go get it. I mean, it was a whole thing. So that was the first gift. Second gift was Cam and I said, Cam, texting, I'm like, hey, what do you want to get Mom? You know, what do you think? She's like, something for the outside. I'm like, oh, okay, let's think about something for the outside. We're putting in that little patio.
Yeah.
So
Furniture.
Brandon likes to lay out. Tanning chair. Did you know a tanning chair existed?
So you talking about Chase Lounge?
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah. I didn't know this. Everybody else probably does. A tanning chair is the old-fashioned fold-out Chase Lounge or whatever.
Yeah.
But it has a built-in head hole that you can put your head through and tan with your head through it. And there's enough room inside, like you can have your phone or your computer or whatever below and still work, text, check, whatever through the head hole while you're tanning.
Oh, that's nice.
No, it's a beautiful thing. So we ordered it for her. Thought, okay, great. Thought we ordered it. Cam texts Uncle Jack to order it. Uncle Jack didn't see the text.
No, I was going to say, Uncle Jack usually tell Brandon, hey, that chair you got's really nice.
No, this time it was like, but Cam was supposed to text Uncle Jack. She did, but he didn't respond. So Thursday comes around. I said, hey, have you heard anything from Uncle Jack? Oh, no. So I reached out to Uncle Jack. Oh, I didn't see the text. So now I'm like frantically. Thankfully, this time I checked the address I was shipping to. But it was funny. The idea was get Mom what she wants. Let's be efficient about this, be quick, and involve the least amount of steps. And that didn't happen. So Cam and I, again, made it as difficult as possible to get 2 gifts. But the nice thing was she got 2 gifts and she loved the gifts.
I mean, it's great gifts. It's funny that you say Uncle Jack because, like, I mean, you know, you get mad when he messes up a couple $100, deck chair. He's messed up $10,000 orders for me before. Oh, you didn't see the text. You saw the 90 other ones. Well, you know, you're a very kind and gentle soul that really thinks about, you know, the Mother's Day extravaganza. I had one goal. I'm going to take Lindsay to get pizza, take her to the museum with Duke to go see the Children's Museum, and then take her to get her favorite bottle of Moscato that you can only get at the Fox Chapel State Store.
Moscato.
So, you guys, if you guys are followers, you guys know that the local state store right here in Sutter, Pennsylvania, know me by name and, you know, what I like and make sure it's in stock at all times. And, you know, like,
Norm.
Yeah.
Doug! Guy, get the hand truck. Doug's here.
Oh, no, that's the best part. Like, because the guy in the front will be like, oh, God, Timmy, Doug's here. He needs help out to the car again. Anyway, so I go into the state store, right? And so I haven't been to that one since COVID, actually. And they used to have it was super nice inside, and they just did a remodel. So I walk in, and now let's put perspective. That same plaza, the Walmart went out because it was getting shoplifted too much. And there's a premium market district there. Great job, the market district, beautiful store. And then you have the state store that's a premium district store. I walk in, and it had a smell of weed so strong, I started coughing.
In the state store?
In the state store. It was like, I mean, literally, it was like pluming. So I'm not sure if the crew members are vaping. I'm not sure if Bobby's vaping. Whoever's vaping is having a great time. So then I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get Lindsay's Moscato. I'm going to get a bottle of Napa and get out of here. The whole front wall, whoever did this setup for this thing, there's no Napa Valley wines until aisle 3. The perimeter is all French, Italian, and German. Like, guys, Napa has the best wine in the world. Sonoma, second, maybe first on a couple of them. Russian River Valley, really good. all of it, right? So I'm like, so then I'm like, we still have Mercurio pizza. You have Mercurio's pizza?
I have actually. I just had it for the first time last year. It's a solid pie. It's a solid pie.
Fun fact: this house was their house. I bought it from them.
I do remember that now.
Yeah. So I went to there first. I needed to use it. So I would go over there. I need to use the bathroom real quick. So I go over to the sign, and now it's public restrooms. They're locked, and the sign says, "Please see front. Please associate for the key."
Or you're at a 7-Eleven in New Jersey.
That's what I'm saying. This is supposed to be the premium
Some
store.
crusty key.
Oh.
You feel like, can I also have some of your deli gloves before you give me the key?
So I walked to the front, right? And I walked to the front, and they're pretty busy. And so the last guy's there, and he's there, and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "I need your key." He's like, "For the bathroom." I'm like, "Yeah, the bathroom." And he thought he was like, he was giving me his like personal home address and social security number. And I'm like, "Yeah, I need to use the bathroom real quick." He's like, "Well, we had some problems, here with the bathroom, so we locked them." I'm like, "I know, and you're gonna have another problem here on the floor if you don't let me go use the bathroom real quick." So I go back, I get the key off this guy after he begrudgingly gave it to me. Went back, used the bathroom. 5 seconds later, came back out, washed my hands, gave the key back. So now I'm going around the store looking for stuff. I find my bottle. So I go back up to the front. Now, mind you, I'm still choking on the weed smell, and the whole store is just awful. I go to the checkout, and there's the manager talking to somebody, and there's this guy. Like one of these, it's a big long counter, and there's a guy to the left and a guy to the right. The guy to the right has a full bag of Lay's chips. His leg up on the counter like he just had Captain Morgan. Mowing down chips, greasy fingers in the bag, just blah, 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 blah. And the other guy's on his phone, not looking up. The guy that I got the key off originally. So I'm sitting there, and I did the 10-second rule. If somebody does acknowledgement, then 10 seconds, I say something. So it was like 1, 2, 10. Hey, to the manager, hey, can I check out? And he's like, well, yeah, pick one. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't want greasy fingers. So I decided to go to the guy with the, now mind you, all this hour is over Lindsay's Mother's Day gift of 1 bottle of wine and my little Napa bottle of wine. So then I go over to the guy that originally gave me the key, and I'm there, and like, he's still on his phone. I'm like, hey, bud. He's like, oh, puts his phone to the side, still looks at it, and starts checking me out. So then I'm like, okay. And I get to the end, I give him his money, and the guy hands me my bottles in the bag, like just paper bags, like I'm a degenerate like hobo. He's like, here's your bottles. And I'm like, no bag? He's got to give you one if I had them. And I found out later that they don't have plastic bags in Allegheny County now. It's like some roll. But still, like, he just hands me these bottles. And I'm there like, and so I'm walking out of there. Literally, like, talk about a total change. Like last time I was there, I felt like I needed to have white gloves on, a suit, tuxedo. That was like crazy.
Obviously, there's been a management change. I mean, let's face it. I mean, and it sounds like the manager, has, heard a few Bob Marley songs in his day. And, let's face it, the eating of chips at the register, being totally acceptable, not really caring if you're there or not.
Just Locking the public restrooms?
Locking the public restrooms. I mean, that's just, it just screams Rastafarian. Yeah. For those of you who don't know Rastafarian, that's like Jamaican religion / way of life. And it's kind of no worries, man. Mon.
Well, the best part, so I get out to the car. It was the wrong one. I didn't get back in.
You went to the wrong car?
No, I went to the wrong bottle. Wrong bottle. All that work.
Oh,
got the wrong bottle.
For her or you?
For her.
Oh, no.
I know.
You screwed up her order?
Wasn't my fault.
You got your order right and screwed up hers on Mother's Day weekend?
You know what? The bottle was fantastic.
Oh,
it was so good.
You can't mess up her bottle. I mean, well, you know what? It's a thought that counts. I'm sure she appreciated it.
Well, Ryan.
Sounds like a nice day.
It was a nice day.
Yeah.
So, guys, as always, one of our favorite segments of the week. It's this week. Retail Stereotype. Ryan, tell me about the closing time Nomad.
The retail stereotype of the week, closing time Nomad. I mean, it's funny. As I go through these and I come up with like what's going to be the stereotype. A lot of times I've been a culprit of this. And, this almost happened to me yesterday, actually. It's the closing time nomad. It's the person that shows up, for a full blown like crazy detailed haircut at 5:55 when, the hair place closes at 6. It's the person that comes into the grocery store with a small list at 8:55 when it closes at 9. They literally, sideswipe, bypass the guy sweeping the rug. The manager's closing the lights off, but they don't even understand. They come in with that small list. They want to get a couple things. Next thing you know, they get a whole cart. And, it's that person. And I've been that person yesterday, actually. I was almost that person, Bela and I, where we had some, we were working on the ad all day, working on different things all day, and the time got away from us. All of a sudden, it's 4:45, and we had to go to the bank. I think you finished the job today, but we had to go to the bank to get an escrow account done. And I'm like, okay, Bela, it's time to go. And then I was like, wait, I don't think we should go. If we walk in there at 4:50, and they close at 5, and we have this full-blown, detailed, form filling out situation, it's not going to go over well.
No, I'm glad you held off because they told me today that you can go down and sign whenever. It's ready to go. You know what? And the history of 6 years history of Saxonburg, we've only had 2 deli complaints that have been crazy, and both is because of the Nomad. The deli closed at 7. It's been closing 7 for 6 years. You have a guy come in. It'd be 6:58, and he'll look at this poor little deli person just cleaned 5 slicers, and he'll be like, "Can I get freshly shaved roast beef, and then Swiss cheese?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry, sir, we closed at 7." They're like, "It's 6:58. You got 2 minutes." Meanwhile, that guy's been there all day slicing. He could have came 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, and it'd been fine. But all the slicers are clean. It's legendary. And then to the same point, so I'm not sure how you do in the other stores, but in Saxonburg, our closing cashiers do 15, 10, and 5-minute warnings. They do, "Hi, everyone. Thank you for shopping Sprinkles Market. Please come and see us again. Please make your final purchase. We'll be closing in 15 minutes. As always, we can't do what we do without you. Come and see us." They nail that whole thing out, right? And they're still, you hear squeak, squeak, squeak with the cart, going down the aisle, checking stuff out. And they still have to go and check to make sure everybody's at the store.
The deli's usually the issue with that for us, and you're exactly right. It's usually the issue for us, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why they started doing dark delis. Where basically it's handled like a meat department, and I do think that's the future with labor where it is. I do think the future of deli business, kind of on a tangent, is where the meat is now, because meat used to be full service. Meat used to be service. Everybody had service meat because you walked in, you talked to the butcher, he cut you whatever you want, and you walk out. Now everything's ready to go. You go in, you buy it. And it's going to be like that with deli because of what you said, because of the service end of it, having to have the labor, having to have the schedule. But the dark deli has moved to that. And actually in our stores even, let's face it, we're doing a lot more prepackaged stuff ready to go. So the people that do come at 6:55 and want to, get 2 things and dirty 2 slicers, they have an option. "Oh no, sir, we just sliced those fresh," and then he grabs his and goes. But it's usually the deli that's an issue on.
I love the re-raise of the customer too. They'll look back over when you're talking. They're like, "Oh, you're talking about those ones sliced over there?" Yeah, they're right over there. They're ready to go. They look back. "I don't want those." It's like the re-raise. And then my guy's like, "Ah."
It's a real test of their customer service
I don't think a lot of
capacity.
A lot of people can't hang with that. It's crazy.
And the one last thing loop. I mean, that's the greatest part. So you have a lady that is closing as the manager. Maybe she's got kids. She's got to get home to help them finish up their homework, go to bed. Then you have a cashier. They need to go home and do their own homework and go to bed. And then you got a deli guy frantically getting out of there, a stalker trying to get the carts and everything out of there. And then you get this last customer that came in at 4 minutes till, which, hey, by rights, I mean, they're willing to pay their money, and we appreciate it. So that's great. But they come in, they get their 10 things, whatever. They go to the front. Everybody's okay. We can still get them out in time. Oh, geez, you know what? I just got a text from Joanne. I got to go grab a couple things. Then he goes up, he gets those couple things. They're in 5 different aisles. Then he remembers 2 things he wanted to. But next thing you know, you're like, what, did this guy, you're almost ready to send a search party out for this dude. Then he comes back up to the front. Now it's 9:07, 9:08. And it creates a real jam for the people that are working when, somebody's waiting for them to get home pretty much right when they get home.
Or the parents are out waiting in the parking lot as far as like the cashier. So the parents waiting. And then I love it like this. Oh, you know what? I forgot my wallet in the car. I'll be right back. 5 more minutes. And then sometimes they just leave because they forgot their wallet completely. It is an interesting thing to think about all the stereotypes in the retail industry, especially the grocery business. And, it's just funny. But, Ryan, origin story, Landisburg, 1991. I was 5 years old, red hair, flaming red hair, flying around the yard, living my best life. That was a nice little cul-de-sac.
Fearless. You're a fearless little dude.
I know I was an adult. My God, I get nervous in the bathtub like I'm going to drown, and I can only climb up one step on a ladder.
You were fearless. No, 91. Yeah, you were 5, and I mean you were just flying around, and we were still trying to figure out. You mentioned before the seizure story. I mean, you were just you were something, but you were fun to have around at that point. But at 91 in Landisburg, Perry County, I'll never forget it. I thought this is a quick hitter story, just something I wanted to share with the audience. Being that it's the end of hockey season. Unfortunately, our Pens, didn't make it against the Flyers, but the Flyers got swept. They got swept by the Panthers, so that's good. But anyways, so Flyers beat us. That stinks. But in 1991, for those of you out there that remember 91, Lemieux, Yager, the first big run. They beat the Minnesota North Stars, shocked the world, won the cup. The Pens. It was crazy. It was the first championship for Pittsburgh of any major sports franchise since 1979, when we became the city of champions with the Pirates and Steelers both winning. And I'll never forget, it was interesting. Back then, especially in Perry County, Pennsylvania, in the middle of the state, above Harrisburg, separated by the mountain, and you were in the middle of nowhere. There was like 5 channels we had. And there was no internet or anything at the time, I don't think. If there was, it was very faint. Nobody used it. And so the only access you had to the outside world was television and radio. So obviously the Pens weren't being covered by Central Pennsylvania. So Pap Welsh, being a Pittsburgher, a Yinzer, an OG Yinzer, he needed to experience the game. It was the last game of the series. It turned out to be the last game of the series. So he goes out to the car and turns on the radio and listens to the whole game. And I'll never forget, like, he's over there drinking some Iron Cities, and I'm probably drinking. At that point, it was okay for a kid to drink like 5 Cokes. So I was probably 4 deep on my Coke pile. And I'm over there just knocking down Cokes. He's knocking down Iron Cities. We're listening to the game. And I'll never forget the Pens won. Yager and Lemieux and company. Bauman won their first cup. But as I was unfortunately experiencing live the Penguins losing to the Flyers, that memory hit in my head. I'm like, oh, that's a cool memory. I haven't really thought about it since, so I just wanted to share with the group a little nostalgic memory from Perry County, 1991.
I only remember one thing from my entire time there.
I was just going to ask you, like, what do you remember about Perry County? I mean, you were so young. I mean, 5 years old. Who remembers anything 4 or 5 years old?
I remember walking down. So we actually lived like kind of towards the top of the hill on the left. Down to the right, Blue House, was Aunt Sherry and Uncle Chris. And I'd walk down there because Aunt Sherry would watch us when Mom was doing stuff. And I remember thinking, this is weird. Like, they were like, I don't know, this is weird. Because I remember thinking about, when I was a little guy, are dreams really dreams, or are they just reflections of future to come? And I thought about, what would I think about when I'm 30, 40, 50, 60, 70? Would I dream of my youth? It was weird. I just remember thinking about the whole thing, and it stuck with me my whole life. And so, like, it's very rare that you dream about when you were a kid. But the older you get, you always dream about something that might be happening, or things are heading towards a certain direction. Your dreams are always the future. Very rarely are they the past.
Wow. That was a lot. But I get it, though. That's the funny thing is, I mean, that was a lot. That was deep. But I get it. And a similar experience I can remember vividly. I was probably 5 or 6 at Nan's house in Blair County, outside of Altoona, between Altoona and Bellwood, for those of you that know Blair County, Central Pennsylvania. And I remember similar situation, laying in the grass, looking at the clouds and looking at the mountain, and just like thinking, am I going to be looking at that same clouds and mountain when I'm old? or when I'm married or whatever. It's funny. You do think about that, and then you remember those moments. It's interesting.
And when you get to adult, you're just like, I don't have time to think about anything. I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah. You're just like, please get me through this day. Let me get half the things. Let me get all the like crucial things that I need to get done, hopefully, and then be able to somewhat go to sleep without all this thoughts of what I need to get done racing through my mind.
And that's this week's therapy session provided to you by Ryan.
Yeah, you didn't even have to pay me $60. Woo, no copays. Yeah. So that's what goes through these brains right here.
What also goes through my brains is always our corporate word of the week. And this week it's the lift.
Lift, it's a corporate word, and it makes sense. I didn't expect that to be the lift that it was. I didn't imagine that would have been quite as big of a lift as it was. The lift, the weight, how much a certain job carried, time-wise, resource-wise. And, it's used in a variety of ways, but one of the ways that I have here is I didn't anticipate this being such a lift. It's an excuse for missing a deadline. Basically, it can be used in the corporate world as an excuse. Oh, that was you know what? I would have had that done in time, but it was way more of a lift than I thought it would be.
I didn't even think about the negative connotation of it. I thought about like as a positive, like we got a lift in sales this week.
Wow. It can be used that way, and that's nice. But more often than not, it's used as like a fancy excuse. Instead of saying, oh, I didn't get that done. Well, you know what? I didn't anticipate it being the lift it was. Unfortunately, I don't have that ready for this meeting. Maybe we could take it offline or move it to a future meeting. The other thing is it can be used passive aggressively. Like it's a real passive aggressive use in a certain way. You could say like, I could say to you like, are you going to be able to get that done? And then you're like, you might say, I don't know. Maybe.
We'll see.
And I'll say, oh, well, I really didn't foresee that being that big of a lift for you.
I
feel like it's not that big of a lift for you. But if you can't, if you don't think you can get it, I could probably get it done.
Oh no! See, if you did that to me and I was working for you, it'd be like this. Oh no, I got you. I will make sure it's lifted, and I would make it so like right at the last possible second, it'd absolutely fail on you, and you'd be like, "Oh, who needs a lift now, Ryan?"
No, it could really be passive aggressively used.
Well, it's funny. The word lift goes all the way back to Old Norse, liftia, which meant to raise or elevate, and it was all about the spiritual lifting of one's soul into the heavens. And then it came around that mortal lift and lifting spirits, rise morale. And then it became, in the 1960s days, the marketing boom, which is marketers realized natural sales lift, and lift and circulation and everything else became a big word to use to describe direct response marketing. So it's actually not so much of like, it was a lift because of the cause. It was the cause is because of the lift. And so then, what people need to understand is the difference in lingo is that growth is a general upward trend over time, where lift is the measurement of the separation from like where it was to where it is now. So it's two different words for two different things. So lift is really cool, but it's also used as elevator in England. It's a lift instead of elevator.
I'm gonna give you a lift. It could also be used for giving somebody a ride. Layman's terms, I'll give you a lift. But anyways, sales lift is the way that we like to use it, because anytime you're saying something has a sales lift, that is positive, baby, because it helps pay some bills. And we've seen a huge lift from the sales of Hamloaf. And that leads us into our interview coming up with the Hamloaf King of Western Pennsylvania, the great Jake Gahr. Remember the thrill of your first childhood game, maybe tic-tac-toe? Genuine Pennsylvania skill games recaptures that excitement, offering easy-to-play, win-every-time experiences at your favorite local spots. Imagine a game where a little skill consistently turns credits into cash prizes. A game you can enjoy with others and even help them win. No need to just imagine. Genuine Pennsylvania skill games, championed by the PA Skill Alliance, are real. Go to paskillalliance.org for more information. Today, guys, we are joined by a man who is in charge of a brand that is literally a Western Pennsylvania institution. We are joined today by the man who's in charge of the pink gold at the center of the table.
Guys, that's right. We're here with the pride of Venango County, Jake Gahr himself, where he's in the aisle with us today talking about all things Hamloaf and the great business he has north of us.
Thanks for coming on, Jake.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We got a lot to cover with you. You got an interesting story, an interesting item, but let's give the folks a little history. You have a recipe that dates back nearly a century. You've turned it into a regional power. Now it's under federal inspection. You're shipping nationwide. I mean, you talk about a legacy brand you're building, and the grit and the meat production. We know meat production. It's not an easy thing to perfect an item like that. Let's just talk a little bit about the history of the brand. How did it start and how did it develop into what it is today?
Yeah, of course. Let's first I gotta give him credit to my grandpa. He actually bought the Kraft Brothers Market in Oil City. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Kraft Brothers or not, but he bought it back in the 70s. So it's called the South Side Market in Oil City. He ran it from 76 up until 88 when he retired. Now, it was a full-on butcher shop. It wasn't just, Hamloaf. He butchered cows. He did deer. He did a little bit of everything. But Hamloaf was his number one selling product that he had there. So he did retire in 88. And then there was actually a 10-year period where, after he retired and sold the store, that Hamloaf was not being made. Every once in a while, there'd be rumor that, my uncle, my dad, they had 8 siblings. There was rumor that a Gahr had made a batch of Hamloaf. So they kind of like put it out on the black market because it wasn't inspected or anything like that. So people get rumor that there'd be Hamloaf out there. So, everybody every once in a while would say, hey, Gahrs are making Hamloaf again. Well, so finally back in 99, my Uncle Mike, he got state inspected. So he started hitting up farmers markets and, just dilly-dallying a little bit. For probably close to 5 years, he was just doing farmer market stuff, and then 2003 he went under federal inspection, USDA inspection, and that's where he started, because you have to be under USDA inspection in order to wholesale to convenience stores, grocery stores, anything along that line. 2014 he went into corporate Giant Eagle. He's been in Giant Eagle since 2014, and then I took over in 2020. So as you guys remember, what happened in 2020? COVID. So the meat industry just went crazy. So here I am with 2 kids, just had a baby born, quit my full-time job, went into a business I've never been in, and I'm starting from scratch here. Talk about being scared to death. But luckily it helped the meat industry for a little while. So we were booming there at first.
Oh, no. As we were looking it up earlier and we're doing the research for the show, and it's amazing the amount of people that went back to comfort food. And for the first time since probably 1996, I saw that grocery stores outsold restaurants. And we're actually continuing because of the inflation, because of the cost, adjustments, fuel at $4.79 today. There's just a lot of expenses in the business. So people are now cutting back and going more to the grocery shop. So it's obviously a chance for not only the meat industry, for everybody that has a standard brick and mortar store to be successful. So you entered the business. When did you enter the business? Did you work in it when you were younger, or is it just when you got older?
No, I just started I quit my full-time job in September of 19. I started helping my uncle from September to December. So December 21st, he had hip surgery, and he says, I'm done. So I helped him for 3 months, and then I took over full-time January 1st.
Oh, wow. So there was never you never got brought up. Like we were talking about the story earlier where Ron and I were brought up in the meat business, and we remember, skinning deer and all kinds of crazy stuff when we were like 7 and 8, but you didn't come until after. What did you do before you became part of Gahr's?
Well, actually growing up, I was in 4-H. I know you guys are big supporters of 4-H. I mean, spent my whole life in 4-H. When I went to college, I actually worked on a commercial hog farm for a couple years. So I was always kind of involved with the pork industry, and then I was raising show pigs for 4-H after that. And then, so I've always been involved with agriculture, the meat business a little bit, but I just never thought I could make a career out of it. So yeah, I actually went to school to be a diesel technician at first. Did that for 3 years. Found out that wasn't for me. Then I went to the police academy. I went through the police academy, and I worked at a college for the next 8 years. So I did that, and then, like I said, we had 2 kids, and I was working, weekends. I was working midnight shift. It just wasn't working out. So I was like, I knew there had to be a change, and my uncle said, "Hey, I'm going to retire soon. Do you have any interest?" And I said, "Absolutely." So that's when I jumped in.
That's awesome. You take a brand like that, the story that you just told about your family and how it evolved, it reminds me like very similar. If you remember, do you remember, did Uncle Charlie's sell up where you were at?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that brand literally came crashing to an end. Unfortunately, it was a plane crash and
Right.
unfortunately passed away. But it kind of went from there and sold to a brand, and now I don't even know if it exists. But it went from the same story. There was a small grocery store in Apollo, PA, that the family owned. The one brother kept the store. The other brother took the family recipe for sausage and started a small production company, and then grew it up to a crazy level. And I always think like, we're in business and we have a lot of brands and we have a lot of things that we produce ourselves. You really just must just really have faith and feel very strongly about one item to say, okay, we're selling all these items. We're doing pretty good. We have a grocery store. Now let's take that one item and go to the next level. Can you elaborate more like on that jump, like making that jump? Like you said, it was a progression, almost like a bootlegger effect at first, but like what was the decision? Like, and why not more brands than just the Hamloaf when they started? Did you ever hear any of those stories?
As far as like what I would do.
Well, yeah. Hey, that's a good question. If you were back in that position, would you? I know I wouldn't be able to have faith in one thing enough to say, okay, I'm going to leave the store where I'm selling all these things. And I'm comfort. There's some comfort in the fact that you have a large volume to just taking one brand or one item and just putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Yeah. So luckily, my uncle, his wife had a good job, so this was kind of like his hobby. So, that's where he was like, so he'd do the farmer's market, and he just kind of play around with it a little bit. And so he just kept growing and growing and growing over time. And so, yeah, it's not like he depended on it. So I think that's why it really wasn't a big deal for him. But like when I took over, I was like, man, all my eggs are in one basket here. I'm a little concerned here. So actually 3 years ago, I started doing fundraisers. Now I do make 6 different kinds of sausage. So I do these for fundraisers, churches, schools, different organizations. So that's almost up to about 20% of our business now. And then last year, we bought a food trailer. So now, my wife and I, the kids, I do have one full-time employee. So, now through the summer, we are doing a little bit of, food vending.
Now, you said you have one. So you do all the Hamloafs yourself then?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, 3 years ago, when I first started, I had like a part-time guy. He was retired. He just came in to help me. So, he helped me there. And then I did hire a full-time guy 2.5 years ago. And yeah, I couldn't do this without him now. I mean, I've almost tripled the business within 5 years. So yeah, we hustle every day.
Well, sometimes for a brand, I know like for us, we've talked about it on the cast before, we've been growing our brand now for 30 years, but like sometimes it's nice when you get a vested family member that comes from an outside perspective and brings that injection of new ideas. And that's, Doug did that for us in the mid teens. And, now we're kind of doing it together. We're reinventing ourselves together. We're bringing in, we brought in a couple specialists and stuff to help us. You got to constantly re-energize the brand. So I think you coming from inside, then outside, then back in probably really helped have a fresh perspective on growth.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you guys remember, but when you hired, you remember your first hire?
Wait, in Saxonburg?
Well, any just in general in business.
My first hire. That's a good question. Do I remember my first hire?
Wow.
I don't. That's wild. You think you would?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm on my own. I got to hire one guy, and all you hear is these horror stories about not finding, the right person. So I got like 20 some resumes or something. I'm looking through them, and I'm just kind of, guessing what to go with here. And then, I was just set on this one. I hired him, and he's awesome. He's been here 2.5 years, never called off a day. He's hurt. He's still in here working. I mean, he's just amazing.
Wow.
Well, it's funny. It's funny he says about the hiring thing. On a quick side note, so when I came back, I learned a lot about how to hire people, and I've learned a couple of things. But the big thing I learned is you can't train a bad person to be good. So to be able to like work with somebody, they have to be a good person because first off, like you're obviously small operations just like us doing your thing. You work with that person 40 hours a week at least. They got to be a good person because if not, you're gonna be driven nuts. They're not gonna get what you're supposed to do done. So when I hire somebody, whether it's the store manager or down to Timmy pushing a broom in the back at 14 years old, whatever it may be, I start out talking about customer service. And I talk about being a good person. I remind everybody, if you steal from us, steal from the store. We walk you out in handcuffs in front of God and Country on Tuesday. But it's funny though. I say it right away. Then I let them talk for a couple of minutes, and I don't say anything. Then I'll say, "Hey, so what are our 3 principles? If they get 2 out of 3 right, they're pretty good forever because that means they're going to listen to you." And then when I leave, I always drop a pencil on the ground. If they pick it up when I'm not there, that means they're going to do it when I am there and when I'm not there. So then it's obviously a good person as well. And most of the time, if I hire that person, they last until either they go to college or move on to another career. But I've used that tactic a lot. I learned that back when I was down in Virginia. It's just about, the person, not really the performance history.
PA Skill players seek genuine PA Skill games. How can you tell the real from the imitation? The PA Skill Alliance offers a 4-step identification process to help you find genuine PA Skill games. 1. Check for logos. Does the machine display official Pennsylvania Skill Game logos? 2. Look for Powered by Pace-O-Matic. Is it Powered by Pace-O-Matic visible on the game's casing? 3. Assess business reputation. Is the game a reputable business? Genuine PA Skill games were not intended to be standalone businesses. 4. Examine game style. Is it a tic-tac-toe style game that offers the option to win every time? Help combat fraudulent skill games by exclusively playing genuine PA Skill Alliance supported games. Discover more at paskillalliance.org.
So, Jay, question about Hamloaf though. For people that aren't from this area or people that don't understand, and maybe they're from Ohio and they do the weird ball things, or they're from New York and they do the ball things, what is a Hamloaf?
Okay, so Hamloaf, I kind of explain it as like it's a meatloaf-like texture. It's a ground product, but it's got that sweet ham flavor with it. I mean, there's some brown sugar that does sweeten it up. It's like meatloaf, so it's made with eggs and breadcrumbs, stuff along that nature. But yeah, it's a sweet meat. A lot of people have trouble with the word loaf. It kind of has a bad name. Because people, back in the day, they grew up with, oh, my grandma made ham loaf, I'm not trying it again. It's like, well, back in the day, people used to grind up ham just because it was getting ready to spoil and they had to do something with it. We're using good quality ingredients here, and it's a completely different product. So if you can get them to try, I would say 80-90% would say that they do like it. And the ones that don't, it's because it's a texture issue. It's not actually a flavor issue. They'll say it tastes good, but the texture's just off. So some people have that texture issue.
Now, obviously with the COVID and everybody else being more socially aware, how do you explain or how do you sell it to like a millennial or like a 20-something-year-old? How do you get them into the meatloaf game, or in this case, the Hamloaf game?
That honestly, the younger ones they're more willing to try things, I think, than the guys that are kind of like set in their ways. So if they'll a Hamloaf, what's that? Like, we'll try it. So yeah, they'll try and like, oh, that's good, So then they're like, all right, we'll put that on our shopping list.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jake, I'm interested in what you said before because, we put your Hamloaf out there. We may have advertised it once or twice. I can't remember because my memory, you guys are young bucks. I'm 45 now, so you'll see what happens when you turn 45. But, we haven't advertised it very heavily. A couple Facebook posts, I think, along the way in the last 5 years. But and it's on the bottom shelf in the freezer. In Kataning's instance, it's in aisle 4, which isn't even a true meat aisle. And we're the one we call you most of the time, correct me if I'm wrong, when it comes to, we need more, man. We need more. So it's picking up, it's selling like crazy. So I'm very interested in this new line. When's these new items from the Gahr family going to be ready for retail, or are they ready?
So Roger actually did call me today and said that Leechburg is out of Hamloaf, so I will get down. But yeah, the other products. So right now we're just kind of doing them for fundraisers. I don't have like barcodes and stuff on them yet, so that's something I'm working on. So yeah, hopefully we get to that point, but it might be a little bit.
That's exciting, man. You're the Uncle Charlie. One quick follow-up question on on the production side of it, one thing that I know I've struggled with in my career, Doug to a certain extent, although he's much better at this than me, but you get something going and it's working very well and it's rolling, and the quality, whether it be an ad, whether it be a anything process, anything in the store that is working and you've kind of done it, it's tough once it's been perfected or close to it to like hand that off and enable you to work on other things in order to grow your business. So from your perspective, you've handled the quality control from day one and you're still an active part of it. Like as you grow, are you finding it's going to be tricky for you to kind of give that control of the actual production up?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's on every package, so is my phone number. So yeah, I get some calls. I mean, they're all good calls, but I'll tell you about some calls later. But yeah, it's tough. Like we're two people right now. We are maxed out on time. Like there's really no time to work on anything else right now. We're just we're doing production 2 to 3 days a week, and then we're driving around 2 to 3 days a week. So I need to. We actually just bought a new building a month ago. So it's a new 10,000 square foot building. We're going to move in hopefully in July. So it's going to allow us to expand our production. And I'm hoping to add more staff at that time so that I can move on to, growing other products and getting started in some different things. But yeah, it's going to be tough to, but Bryce, I think he's very capable, and he's been under me for 2.5 years. And yeah, I think I've got him thinking like I do. So I think we're good to go there.
Nice.
Now, I'm always asking questions about equipment. So, with the equipment side of things, like, have you had to start scaling up your equipment to match the production? And to the same point, like, how do you keep that grind consistent? Obviously different products come in different times, but like, it's always hard and tricky to keep that grind consistency, especially on a product like yours, where it's the finished product. It's not like it's a certain texture, a certain, level of fat, certain everything. Yeah. Like, what are some of the equipment ideas or some of the things you've done to help stabilize that situation?
Yeah, so for 5 years we've been using. Well, I upgraded some equipment when I moved in. So I did buy a brand new Riser VMAG 500 vacuum stuffer. That thing is pretty incredible for filling the bags that you see. I mean, within 100th of a pound, it can fill those bags exactly. So I mean, we couldn't put out the production that we do without that piece of equipment. Now we do have a 200-pound Leland meat mixer, and then we have a pretty big Hobart grinder. So yeah, we do the exact same process every single batch. So yeah, everything's very consistent here. We can do 1,200 pounds of Hamloaf in about 4 hours.
Oh wow!
So yeah, an hour cleanup and an hour doing labels, but yeah, overall we can. Otherwise, I'd have to hire another employee just to be stuffing bags or doing something like that.
No, that's awesome, man. That's a crazy amount of tonnage. One thing I wanted to ask you. So, you're in this niche market and you're developing it, and like in our stores being small stores, thankfully you came around because the inconsistencies you talked about before with some of the production methods of different people, you had different cooks with different recipes in different stores. So maybe somebody goes to our old Vandergrift store, loves it, but then they go to Leechburg, they have it, they don't like it. You've really been a great fit for independents like us, probably corporate stores too, as far as creating that consistency, because you use the best products and you have the best facilities. But one thing I was going to ask you, is there any competitors out there? Do you have to worry about any competitors, or is it more just trying to break in and for people that aren't aware of Hamloaf, kind of selling them on warning the space for you?
That's really it. There is one competitor over in like Lancaster County, but they don't really come over this far west. But yeah, it's as far as getting people to try it. You know what I mean? Like I say, if you can get them to try it, they usually like it. But it's just taking that first step. People, my wife's, she's terrible at that. I was like, try this. I'm always making something at work, trying to get something right. Or she's like, oh, why you always make me try something? I was like, just come on. But nine times out of 10, she doesn't like it. But then, so we just move on.
Well, given the fact that, let's face it, the ingredients, everybody loves every one of the ingredients. It's very simple, clean label. I think it's another thing you got going for you is the fact that let's face it, Doug and I have talked about this a lot in the cast. with the GLPs out there, with the different diets out there, a lot of it points to, meats, fresh produce, meat items. And your label is literally what, 5 ingredients?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, half our label is breadcrumbs because breadcrumbs, they can sometimes the stuff in there. Sometimes it all depends on what they make that day. So they just have to put all the ingredients on there just in case it's in there. But unfortunately, Hamloaf does have a lot of allergens. Milk, eggs, soy, sesame now. So yeah, it's definitely not allergy free, but yeah, we do the best we can to keep our. And I've had the same ham and meat suppliers the entire 5 years that I've been here.
No, Jay, question on the, you said breadcrumbs. Has it always been breadcrumbs or was it originally the graham cracker?
We've always used breadcrumbs. I know some people, I've heard people use graham crackers, but yeah, we've always used breadcrumbs.
That's interesting. It's like the Lancaster, that's where the founding of Hamloaf came from in the 1800s. It's interesting because that's how it started out as graham crackers. So I wonder if that's why the texture and the taste is different. I mean, I like it. I love it. I got something before. I love it on a toasted sandwich. And so it's interesting to see how the Western Pennsylvania flair of Gahr's has made it, a modern product that everybody enjoys.
Right, and everybody makes theirs a little bit different. There's 3 or 4 places around here that they sell in their restaurant. They make their own, and I've tried all just because I like to try other products. So I try everybody's, and some people say, well, yours is a little too sweet. I was like, well, then this is what you should try over here. Then not everybody's gonna like mine the best, and I completely understand that. So I try and guide them to a product that they might like a little bit better.
Well, if you're familiar, I'm sure you are, with Del Grosso sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the same knock came out when what was it, Mafalda and Joe?
Oh yeah, yeah.
When they came out with the Del Grosso sauce in the 20s and 30s and 40s, they started pushing it. There were some people that were like, "Oh, it's too sweet." Well, it worked out pretty good for them. They were voted the #1 failing business in America. I think like 4 presidents have hosted them. So
Right.
I won't worry about it being a little on the sweet side, Jake.
Yeah. And then the part-time guy used to work for me. He's like, I like it, but I like to put a little more sugar in it. So I was like, you can make everybody happy.
It's a preference thing. But one quick question, going back to logistics of it. We're big logistics guys, and we understand how every minute is important when you're making something, as far as the time it takes to put into it, the ingredients, the supplies, all of that. When you made the jump from just being a state inspected to the USDA, we know what that label brings. First of all, cost wise, but also it creates some logistical situations that you have to address, deal with, move around. What were the biggest in-house adjustments you had to make between the old inspection label and USDA?
So actually, when I took over, it already was under USDA inspection. But what a lot of people don't realize is when you have that little USDA stamp on every package, that means there's an inspector in our shop every day. Even when I was here working by myself, it'd be me and the inspector. I was like, so someone's watching over your shoulder the entire day. I was like, okay. So just sits here and watches me make Hamloaf. It's kind of weird, but yeah, that's their job. So yeah, we take our food safety, it's very important here. But yeah, you do have to. I do have to schedule with them. So every day that I plan on processing, I have to tell them when I'm making it, and then they are here that day. So it is kind of hard as far as scheduling and when you're going to make it and when I'm on the road delivering. As far as receiving hours for stores, I mean, your stores are awesome. You pretty much receive anytime. But these corporate stores, it's between 8 and noon this day, this day, this day. This day we don't take receiving. So yeah, it's just hard to logistics to plan a route and then try to schedule time of what time we're going to get at each store. And so yeah, it does have some difficulties.
So Jake, we know that how challenging it can be sometimes to break into that store market. What are some of the stories or some of the experiences you had? I mean, obviously we tried our best to welcome you with open arms, but I'm guessing not all retailers out there are as open-minded.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, you guys were. Yeah, I love independent stores. They really are the best to work with. And then, when you walk into a corporate store and, I talk to a meat manager, you can tell right away of whether they're going to be someone that's going to be, that you can work with, or whether you don't want to deal with the store. If a meat manager likes your product and likes you, your product's going to do pretty well there. But if they have no interest, I mean, they'll throw you on the bottom shelf, they'll hide your product, and it's like you kind of get the hint that you probably just shouldn't be in that store. So, but yeah, business relationships are what it's all about as far as getting your product into a store and getting it to actually sell.
Is there any to your memory? Is there any like stories of crazy experiences with that?
No names, no names or anything.
names.
Just you could say, Joe from Emerald Valley,
Valley,
whatever,
Not really. I mean, I've walked into a few stores and they're like, yeah, no, thanks. We make our own, because, some stores, they might, they might grind their old ham, find a way to get rid of it, so they don't want a good product, premium product sitting beside theirs, because then theirs won't sell. So yeah, you got to kind of read the manager and see how things are going to go.
With shipping, what is that? What all do you have to have? Do you just have like I don't know if I've seen your vehicle. I mean, do you have a van? Do you have that? What do you have as far as how do you ship it between the stores? And like how do you like plan your routes? Like where all do you go, north to south, so the people out there, like what's the furthest north they can buy it? Can they buy it, in the middle of an island and off of Presque Isle? I mean, and farther south, west, and east.
Yeah, so we have two delivery vans. One's a ProMaster City cargo van, and it has a freezer built into the back of it. And then the other one is a refrigerated a Nissan van. So yeah, we got two delivery vans. And then we head up like today. Bryce, he went up to Erie, so he'll go up at Edinburgh, hit all the Erie Giant Eagles, Bellows on 12. And then he'll head down to like Corey, go down through Corey. He went to Centerville, Titusville, and then over to Tityuta actually, and then back. So yeah, we range from we're in Newcastle, Greenville. We go over east to DuBois, Brookville, DuBois, and then north to south. We're up in Erie. Then we go down to like Cranberry Township, McCandless area, and Pittsburgh. That's kind of like our general area. We're in about
you're like a U.S. representative, Jake. Only you're selling Hamloaf.
Yeah, we're in about 75 stores, a couple of restaurants, a couple of nursing homes. So yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Oh, that's great, man. I got another question for you. I love when we get a chance to talk like this with people that we see in the store. But when we see in the store, you're thinking of 50,000 things, and you're rushing, and you're dealing with this and trying to get to this, and we're in the same mode because we don't actually get a chance to connect like this. This is really cool to be able to talk to you and get a feel for your business. But one thing I wanted to know was Hamloaf. Like, what's the best time of the year for you? Like, what's a busy time in Hamloaf?
Number one is the Christmas season. So 2 weeks before Christmas, and then number two is Easter. So I guess it's pretty consistent with ham. Where your ham sales are, but yeah, Christmas and Easter.
Oh man, that's interesting. I was just thinking about the Hamloaf, and it's. I mean, I've had every kind of Hamloaf. I mean, I've had the ones you described earlier with people just kind of put together, a mixture of whatever's laying in the cooler, at times. And I've also had your Hamloaf. And obviously, I mean, I'm not just saying this, like your Hamloaf, I think is superior, but it makes sense why it's superior. You got a guy over your shoulder watching to make sure everything's right. You got, state-of-the-art equipment. You got a great family recipe, and you use the best ingredients. So, I mean, it makes sense. But the one thing that I was going to ask you is, have you ever thought about it or dreamt about, like, I'm picturing Dave Yaney maple syrup right there next to you, the Allegheny National Forest, like a Yaney maple edition. What would that like for me? That shows you how much I know about developing brands. Like, how hard would it be? Like, what would have to happen? What steps would you have to take to like say to Dave, okay, Dave, let's do a collab here for the holiday season and promote it at Spraggles? What would that involve, and how hard would that be?
It probably wouldn't be that hard. I just got to find time to work on stuff like that. I've had a few ideas. We've had like Apple. You guys ever heard of Apple Fest in Franklin?
Yes, I have. Yes,
it's a huge festival. Everything's about apples, right? So I had this great idea of they make like an apple, maple apple ham loaf. I was going to do this, and yeah, I ran out of time. So that's as far as it went. So I haven't been able to try that yet.
So
But yeah,
it wouldn't be that crazy if you
no,
had the time to do it.
right. No,
That's the
it's
story of our life. Literally, Doug and I's autobiography, if we write one together, is going to be literally you just mentioned the title. If we had the time.
so what's your idea? What would you like to see?
Well, it's funny. We're actually you're a guest in it right now. Like this as far as your product or our product?
My product.
Yaney's. Yaney Maple.
Okay.
I love Yaney Maple. I mean, I've been really trying to watch my weight. Being 45, you got to start to analyze your situation. And so I pick my spots of where I want to, kind of go crazy.
Now, Jake, this comes from the guy that I've seen recently pound 6 beers, mow down 3 burgers, extra fries.
That was a cheat day. That was a cheat day.
That was
He was gonna have 7 burgers. He shut off at 6.
That was a cheat day. But anyways, so a couple of my guilty pleasures are I like Yaney maple syrup. I mean, I'm like Bud of the Ale for that stuff. I literally drank it one time on the podcast. I love it. And so I love that. I like beer. I like wine. But Yaney maple is great. And I'm just picturing like your product with just like not to the point of overpowers, just like a subtle, maple
a hint of maple.
I can just tell it's there. I don't know, man. It just sounds. Oh,
Yeah.
You're asking Jake to do a lot because he's got to like bring the sweetness back down a little bit to make room for the maple syrup.
I think at that point you just put the whip to it. I mean, at that point, I think you're reaching out for a guy at that point that just wants to like get hopped up and ready for the Christmas day. I mean, I think I'm just picturing like a Hamloaf breakfast type. You get the Hamloaf with the Yaney infusion, and you got some pancakes. You got some coffee.
Jake, we'll ship you a bottle of Yaney's. Hey, so
next time you're in the store, shoot me a text and I'll say, "Hey, give this guy a bottle of Yaney Maple."
This guy always blames me. He thinks I'm a spokesperson for the Turnpike because I always want to take the Turnpike. He's like, "Do you work for those guys? Do you work for Yaney?"
I don't, man, but I do love it. I mean, I'm not paid by them; they're not sponsored. I always have to say that, but no, I just like it.
Well, I wrote it down here, so I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Doug likes the Turnpike. I like syrup. I mean, he's obsessed. I'm telling you, you can tell Doug, Jake, if you said to Doug, listen, Doug, I know you're a busy guy, but we got to go to, I got this opportunity. Go to New York City. They want to know about Hamloaf. They want me to bring a local retailer. You guys are going to go to New York City. Now, New York City from you. He wouldn't say, let's meet in Brookville, like a logical person. He would say, you know what? Jake, there's going to be traffic on 80. It's a little sketchy this time of year. Let's meet at Harmer and we'll take the Turnpike. I mean, this guy will take the Turnpike. I can tell him that we're going to upper, Lake Huron. And he'd say, let's take the Turnpike to Philly first to make sure we're good.
Hey, if it's not Roy Rogers or Starbucks there, I'm not going. Roy Rogers or Starbucks, I'm not going. I'm actually, ironically, you mentioned I'm going to Rowdy next week to Taylor, Pennsylvania.
Where is Taylor, Pennsylvania?
Is it Wilkes-Barre?
Oh, is it up that way?
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering where
4.5 hours. So if you need me to drop off any Hamloafs to anybody, I'm going that way.
Good to know.
He might hold you to that, man. I mean,
well, no. I'm gonna toss him a bottle of Yaney's. I'm gonna hijack his ProMaster. I'm gonna rip that thing north. I'm gonna show up at the meeting and be like, "Hey, everybody! Like, do you sell Hamloafs now?" I'm like, "How dare you, sir? How dare you?"
I got an easy pass in there already, so you're ready to go.
All right, Turnpike. Well, Jake, is there anything we missed today? We really appreciate coming on the show. It's awesome to hear the story and how literally you took that jump from going from a officer of the law to an officer of the swine, making the Hamloaf, taking care of the family, having 2 kids, surviving COVID, and helping Sprankles grow our meat brand by having your product in the store.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys selling it. Like I said, I love the product and I love to get it out to as many people as I can. So, having small independent, groceries like yourself, I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jake, because you've solved an age-old problem, man. Because we have a lot of people that want Hamloaf. We've had a lot of inconsistency between the different cooks and producers of it amongst our stores over the years. You've streamlined it. You've given us a great quality product that we can put out there. And the nice thing is, it's before, another thing to mention was before it was like sometimes there wouldn't be time for our people to make it. It wasn't necessarily a priority. So if they were bogged down with orders and stuff, we might go weeks without having it on the shelf.
Right.
So now you've given us some consistency. You've given us a great product, and it's been pretty cool. I'm so glad that that your uncle decided to get that thing rolling, because it's doing well for us.
Right. Good. Glad to hear it.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Again, Gahr's Hamloaf, available at all Sprinkle locations, Giant Eagles, all over the place on the Western Pennsylvania corridor. Big shout out. Thank you so much. Looking forward to all the new products. If you're out there in the area, check out their food truck this summer. It'll be everywhere. Guys, as always, we really appreciate it. Thank you again, Jay. Can't do what we do without you, and appreciate all the things that you bring to the Hamloaf Nation of Western Pennsylvania.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Genuine PA Skill Games, powered by Pacematic and supported by PA Skill Alliance, are dedicated to fostering growth throughout the Commonwealth. These games have been instrumental in supporting local fraternal orders, fire companies, bars, and retailers by keeping businesses operational, maintaining employment, and funding community projects. With over 5,000 communities across Pennsylvania, it's highly probable that Genuine PA Skill Games are working hard behind the scenes in your area. They ensure the vitality of our main streets, restaurants, bars, and stores. By supporting PASkillalliance.org, you are investing time in your community, employing your neighbors, and contributing to local nonprofits. Together, we can help keep Main Street open for business. That was a great interview with our friend Hamloaf King, great business partner of ours, services all three stores, Jake Gahr.
I can't wait for your mashup, your Jake Gahr Hamloaf, Yanny's maple syrup on the grill this summer, sizzling up some fun. Can't wait for that one. But Ryan, this week, we're going to go back to one of my favorite countries to eat at, is Italy. And we're going to talk this week about the deli counter diplomacy, the prosciutto di Parma. The story, unlike prepackaged aisles in the many Western supermarkets, the Italian salmarier relies on the Salami King relies on the relationship between the merchant and the local.
Salamaria.
No way.
Salamaria. It's like salami. Salamaria.
That may be right. You're so much better at English.
I know I'm right. It's Salamaria. Salamaria, baby. Relationship between the merchant and the local.
So we're talking about this week is the Crown Parma brand is the burned into the skin of the ham, and retailers are legally required to show the mark prior to slicing. As to protect retail integrity, shopkeeper acts as the gatekeeper to the regional pride, often giving a regular customer a test slice to ensure the sweetness exactly to their liking before they cut it on the slicer.
Prosciutto di Parma, man. I mean, just... What an amazing situation. You're the big prosciutto guy. You're that kind of specialty guy that really has, an appreciation for the arts and what goes into it. I'm just like, man, that stuff's pretty good. I'll tell you what.
Mow down lemon.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh man, it's not really good. Doug's like, it's $29.99 a pound. But yeah, I think of Parma. I think of Parma sausage.
Remember the time I got that Iberico and I told you how much it was a pound? And you're over there like, this is pretty good. I think I want to put some mustard on it. I'm like, you put mustard on that, I'm killing you.
You have done a good job of helping me. Between you and Brand, man, I'll tell you, you could really culture me up because I'm a meat and potatoes guy by nature. So you guys really pull me out of my comfort zone.
Well, back to the prosciutto di Parma. It's only 4 ingredients. It's Italian pork, sea salt, air, and thyme. And you're talking about the spallone. Spallone, actually, as Bela told me it was. Spallone made from a horse bone.
Yeah, I like going outside my box, but, the spallone that pulled from a horse bone, that might be a little too far for me. But, hey, for those of you out there that are looking for some adventure, get some spallone, baby.
Well, no, you don't eat it. The spallone is the bone they use to put into the meat.
Yeah, it's
for
like
a scent to make sure it's not foul.
It's a tester. I thought it was maybe some kind of a base that they use.
Oh, eating horse meat.
Well, the weird stuff people are doing, it's, it's wild what people are doing out there.
So the interesting part is because
I have watched Too many things on the Epstein files.
Weird. No. So it's interesting is the diet of the pig they use is fed basically all the leftover whey from production, the Parmigiano. They feed, and then because of the climate being the way it is, that the salt air blows off the ocean, goes through pine trees. All you need is salt to actually make the product. There's not like additives to it. It's a very clean curing process, and it's because of the microclimate of Parma. And shout out to local Parma in Pittsburgh, who we carry in all 3 stores.
Yeah, Parma has been a great partner of ours. That's Dad's big thing. He loves Parma. He makes sure, even to this day, he's almost fully retired. He makes sure that we have Parma in our stores, Parma Sausage Company, before every major holiday. And to be honest, it sells, man. It sells. It's great. One thing I didn't realize, though, is that branding process you were talking about, the aging process, 400 days, 400-day aging process. So you're talking about, like, think about that in terms of production. Like, in our world, we're looking to, like, get stuff in and move it. It's all about turns. Because if something's sitting there, it's just tying up money. You're paying money on that money. We all know how that works by now. But with this, it's a real process, because for them, they get it, they produce it, they have to age it 400 days, hence why it's, however much a pound, because it has to be for them to cover their expenses and the weight.
Oh, it's a lot. And plus you lose shrink, because when you dry age anything, you lose shrink. Like when you dry age beef, you can lose up to 40% in 30 days.
I remember when you had the dry age locker at Saxonburg. Honestly, for me, it was one of the things I was like, whoa, I didn't realize. Obviously the taste was amazing, but when you dry age something, like that thing that you put in to the dry age container, when you go to get it, it's like it spit out a little brother. It's not the piece of meat that you put in to begin with.
Well, it is. It's just concentrated.
It's very concentrated.
It lost all its moisture.
It's like, what? Where is it? Where is it?
I got a fun contest. I'm going to throw it out here. This is random. I shot a Parma video 10 years ago, tour of Parma, and put it on one of my pages. If somebody finds it, whoever finds it and messages us that they found it and sends a link, I'm going to put into a contest. Winner is going to get 2 Supersada cut to order for free.
Oh.
One person's going to win. If you find it, message us, send us a link. You get entered for a chance to win. 2 Supersada little loaf things.
Wait, I just found it.
Winner. Yeah.
No, that's Supersada. So
that was a
good,
great
man.
tour, though.
Oh,
They gave me a tour of the whole factory.
Oh,
It was neat.
Parma's so good, man.
Right there under the strip.
Oh, some Parma, some red wine, just a football game. Oh, just a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing.
Keeping in the spirit of the Hamloaf, I see that your Christmas ham challenge. Oh, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
I almost died.
I know. No, it's ham, and I know it's not Christmas, but when Doug and I were starting the social media and we were pushing it, at the time, Doug had just bought Leechburg from Mom and Dad. I had bought Katanning, and we were both, together trying to grow the brand, trying to figure out what the brand was going to be, trying to figure out the social media thing. We knew something was there. We kind of knew all this stuff was kind of there, but we were just like throwing stuff out there and trying to get attention, trying to get people in the store, and trying to pay bills, just to be totally honest. And one of the things we would do, and we probably need to get back to this at some point, all the time, it's so tough. But I think, I don't know if it's you, me, or I think it sounds like it would have been your idea, but we had a ham challenge. You want to explain the
rules?
details?
The rules.
Was it your idea?
Oh no, it was a playoff. So that year we did Camp Out for Community. The loser had to shave their head live at the end of Camp Out for Community. And so keeping with the challenge idea and getting people to support your local store, we basically put out that whoever sold more hams, the loser had to jump in the opposing team's river in the middle of winter.
For those of you that aren't familiar with, the topography, geography of Western Pennsylvania, the Allegheny River flows through Katanning and makes its way towards, the 3 rivers, towards the formation of the Ohio with the Monongahela. And Doug's River was the Kiski going past Leechburg store that connects with the Allegheny and heads down that way.
Now, added factor of scariness, that part of the Kiski is one of the fastest flowing rivers in the Western Hemisphere.
To the point that when you take a guided kayak tour, unless you're an expert, they pull you off the river before you get to that last bend before Leechburg.
Oh, yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah, so Ryan's there, and again, there's all. So I forget, I won, but I don't know why. I don't know why.
No, you lost.
No. I won, and you didn't want to jump in the river for some reason.
No, you lost.
No.
He lost.
Anyway.
He lost. Wait.
I did not lose. Because for some reason.
No, you lost.
No, you couldn't jump in the river. There was some kind of medical condition.
No. You lost. You jumped in the river.
It was Leechburg, circa 2017.
No, you lost, and it was kind of an unfair fight at the time because Katanning was doing more sales, especially in the meat department, than Leechburg. But Katanning did win. But if you remember, I remember now, my memories, I'm 45, it takes me a little bit. But you lost the bet. Katanning sold more hams than Leechburg. But then we figured out that, keep in mind, it's December. I mean, it's basically New Year's. I mean, it's cold. The river is cold. All rivers are very cold. And so we were going to do, the bet was you lost, so you had to jump in the Allegheny River. But we found that the Allegheny was too dangerous to jump in at the time. It was too high.
It was icing over.
It was too rapidly flowing. So the Kiski was a little tamer, even though it wasn't tame. So that's how we got to that point. But then we had to find there wasn't too many points you could jump in that was safe, and it wasn't even safe at that point.
No, so we called our local river rescue. Gary Lyons came out with like 3 other guys, and I never forget it. So like we shot a video and we had 20,000 live views.
Oh yeah, I played it up too, man. I mean, Mom's there. She's all worried about Doug. Her baby Doug dying. She literally was worried. It wasn't like some act. She's worried. The cameras are rolling. She's worried. You're kind of worried. I'm a little worried, actually. I figured it'd be all right, but I'm like, it's a little, but because it was very rapid, it was very cold, and like we're not trained swimmers, so like, something could go wrong. So I was a little worried, but I played it off. But I'm like building it up. I'm like, okay, he could do this. He could do that. He could trip and die. He could drown. He could have hypothermia. He could go to cardiac arrest. Mom's there. Like, I'm saying all this. And Mom's like praying the rosary, hoping that you don't die. Like, she's almost crying. It's like this funny, crazy mess.
Hey, if somebody finds this, again, I'm going to throw another contest out there. If somebody finds this video and links it back to us, all of our Sprankle librarians out there, if you find this video, enter for a chance to win free ham.
Free ham, baby. Oh, no, free 2-pound Hamloaf.
Yes!
Gahr's Hamloaf.
Summertime, baby.
Yes.
So.
That was an amazing thing. And then you did it.
Oh, no. The best part about it was when he got there. So Ryan's up on the hillside giggling, and Mom's there like
praying, like the ways you're gonna die.
She's like pushing the rosary into her hand. She's just like praying for the rosary. And so we're right by the Vandergrift Bridge. And for those who don't know, the Vandergrift Bridge, and then it's like all this wooded area on both sides, and then there's like this, I think a sewer plant or something right down the road from there on the left. Anyway,
there's some kind of a who knows, man. So that's the old mill area, man. There's mills, there's sewage plants. I mean, it's
questionable.
It's come a long way.
That's a lot better.
There's fish now.
The hellbender's back. The little salamander, they found one there.
No way.
He's back.
That's a good sign.
The hellbender.
No, that's a great sign.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm there, and Gary and all the crew's there, and they're all like in their big wetsuits, and they're in the river, and they have the ambulance standing by in case I don't make it. And the guy's like, "Listen, Doug, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you fall straight down, you're good. If you fall 3 feet this way, I can't get you to drown. We find you in Leechburg. If you go this way, you're going to get impaled by something. If you go this way, I can't get you. You're going to drown." And I'm like, okay. And he's like, your body's going to go into instant shock because the water's so cold. You're going to have to jump in, jump back up so we can grab you and put a blanket so you don't die. And like, I mean, he like made it sound like this is really dangerous. It was dangerous.
It was dangerous. And meanwhile, you got Mom beside the situation, and she's like, she could have, honestly, you could put her into character, change the wardrobe, and she could have been a future French widow next to the guillotine circa 1650. I mean, she's over there losing it, man. It was funny. I mean, I don't
think it was funny is the
Mom,
word.
if you're watching this, I mean, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but everything turned out okay. So it's good to laugh now.
So I decided at the time the internet trend was a silly salmon. So I silly salmon into the water, got up, got out of the water, and I never forget it. Driving back to Leechburg in the heated Suburban that was already like warmed up, the tips of my fingers hurt for like 2 days.
I mean, it was really frigid water. You weren't acclimated or used to being in that kind of water. You didn't know how to handle it. And you did spend, I thought, I mean, I was appreciative of the fact that you committed to the project, but you spent more time in there than I would have spent. I mean, I was expecting just like a quick dip and out, like almost like a, talking about the rosary, almost like a baptism type of experience, just like a boom. Okay. I mean, you were a silly salmon. You were in there flopping around. I mean, I was
flopping around because I almost got impaled by a rebar. Found out a year later we had Neil on the podcast, not podcast, we had Neil on the camp out.
Yeah.
He's like, Doug, you should have told me. He's like, that used to be a boat ramp. It broke apart a couple of years ago. There's rebar everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. Can you imagine getting impaled, then freezing to death, then drowning? It was a real challenge. But yeah.
Actually, I did imagine that kind of as I was explaining the ways that you could have, perished.
Well,
but thankfully you didn't.
I'm glad.
You're here.
You're
here.
You know what? In honor of that, we're going to bring it back this year.
I like it. We're going to bring back the ham challenge.
No, Luke has to jump in the opposing team's river.
Pound for pound. So if Saxburg wins, we got to jump in Pine Creek.
Saxony Lake.
Oh, jeez.
Which, yeah, Saxony Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pine Creek would be better.
No, Saxony Lake's where's
Pine Creek's a little far away. Buffalo Creek. Buffalo Run.
Dude, it's like 2 inches deep. That's not.
Yeah. Hey, sounds good to me. All right. Now it's time, guys, for Boom. We like to keep you updated on the retail trends with Doug.
Well, guys, people don't realize that January 1st, 2026, the USDA voluntary labeling standards have gone into effect, which means that product of the USA, it has to be and shown born, raised, harvested, and processed in the United States. So I guess there's people out there playing reindeer games. They'd bring in like foreign cattle slaughtered here and said it was made in the United States when it's not. So it's a big deal. The issue is when they come in, if you claim by putting a flag on your product, anything on your product, you have to prove all that.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think it's good to be as transparent as possible. When people are buying center of the plate, they should know where it's coming from. It should be very clear where it's coming from. We've always been very clear in our labeling and our signage. When we do have a special deal on Mexican or Brazilian, which the Brazilian Delmonicas are looking so good, honestly. I mean, they're just like amazing. But anyways, when we have any kinds of deals like that, we make sure we put it out whole so they can see the label. It's very clear for people that understand that, hey, that's pretty good quality. They can buy it. And people that maybe want to stay with USA, there's an option for them as well. But it's very important. But I can see why they've made this crackdown and why they've made this push and why it's a retail trend, because there is more and more every year. It's been a trend for a long time, but there's more a call to local, a call to supporting the USA where you can. And people just want to know where their food's coming from. So for those people that kind of were playing it shady, and I'm actually glad that they're being forced to, stand up and do it the right way. And now we're all playing on the same playing field. We've been doing it the whole time, right? And now it's nice that everybody's forced to do it right.
Yeah. Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the men that aren't playing by the rules.
Funny story about that. Last time, remember when they had cool fish labeling? Country of origin fish labeling?
That was a nightmare.
The guy came to Apollo.
Overkill. That was way overkill.
No, the federale came to that thing, and he's like this, I want to see where the fish came from. And I'm like this, you mean the one piece of fish I sell in this entire store in landlocked Apollo, Pennsylvania? He's like, yeah, where's it from? And I said, here's the invoice. Well, your invoice isn't sure where it's from. I'm like, okay, I'll call the wholesaler. They had to fax. Like, this is a deal. He was there for 2.5 hours over one piece of salmon that was farm raised and wherever, it's chili farm raised salmon the warehouse had to pull the bill of lading from the importer. Like, it took 2.5 hours.
You know what? And I'm glad it did, though. I'm glad it took 2.5 hours because even though it was a big pain in the rear end back then, and you had to fax. I mean, it tells you how long ago that was. You had to we had to fax stuff. But the nice thing about it is, by doing that, again, we want to be transparent. Everybody wants to be transparent. People want to know where their products come from. All those people like us that called the supplier and forced them to go to work and get it done, it kind of led to what it is now. Now, when you get fish in, right on the box is the label, and then you have your pre-made rolls that you just X off where it shows exactly where it's from. And then you take it one step further, you pre-program in your system so that the label comes out. All that pain in the butt was a pain in the butt. It was over enforced too quickly, but at the same time, it did lead to what we have now, which is very clear labeling no matter where you go. I mean, you go to Jimmy's Crab Shack in Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or you go to Sprankle's Market, or you go to Giant Eagle, or you go to Walmart. It doesn't matter. You're going to be able to see very clearly with key ease to the retailer and to the person working in the meat departments. Very easy now. Where before, like you said, you were looking at your 500-page scroll of invoices, trying to figure out, oh, it's not marked. Now you got to call it. It was a nightmare. But all those nightmares forced everybody all the suppliers to just go ahead and be proactive about it and put it out there, make it easy for the retailer
And for the customer at the end.
and for the customer.
Which is important, but still 2.5 hours. Come on.
Oh no, it was.
One piece of fish.
I lived it too. It was brutal.
Well, Ryan, get that bag, shuffle it up a little bit. I'm excited about this. When I did the background on what Ryan's item this week, I was like, good choice.
Double shake on this one, baby.
Ryan, but for those people that are listening, the bag you pulled out of the bag is bigger than the original bag.
Yeah, for the listeners out there, man, the bag, I had to conceal the outside bag. I mean, it's a big bag. And the inside bag is a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. It is a 16-ounce, but a massive bag of Jenny's old-fashioned popcorn. And, you know, this stuff, we sell at all 3 stores. It's distributed by our friend Jeff at Utz. Again, we're not paid for this segment. We just like this stuff. It is, I'll tell you what, you can pop your own at home, but, like, you have crunch. It is a fresh crunch. Cheese is just the right amount. And it's just, it's like movie theater level. I mean, have you had it? Have you had it lately?
Oh, yeah, no, I love it.
Movie theater level popcorn. And, you know, it's a good thing. And I always forget about it. And when I do buy it, I'm like, oh, man, is that good? And the cool thing about this story is when the President of the United States, Donald Trump, came to the store, when he did the tour of the store, and, you know, he was basically, you know, talking about the store, asking about the store. He's very curious about what was happening in the store, our origins and stuff, being a business guy, family business. We chopped back and forth about that a lot. He was in the store for 37 minutes. But the one product that he, like, grabbed, that he wanted, that he touched, we came around the corner, and he saw this, and he literally lunged towards it like a 7-year-old kid, grabbed it, and was so excited about it. He was like throwing it to the Secret Service, and like so excited. He's like punching me on the shoulder about it. He was pumped about it. So, along with it being a cool product, a very good product, and a product I like, has good meaning because, you know, memorable trip to any store. I don't care, president, you know, regardless of what party you're on. If the president comes to your store, it's a big deal. Presidential trip, this is the one product that he chose in the store. So, pretty cool.
That's a great history, too. In 1975, Tim McGuire decided to name the label Jenny's after his only daughter, Jennifer. It was a strategic move to create recognizable grocery stores, while the family's parent company, Poppy's, handled the wholesale and private label production. It was basically homegrown at his... Actually, the family roots got back to 1940 when Walter McGuire, that Tim's father, was working in a dry cleaner and began popping popcorn at the family home, started selling his homemade snacks at local schools in Lakewood, Ohio, before his wife, Ethel, eventually opened up the penny candy store and expanded their business. So basically, the tiny beginnings, massive growth. When the business first gained traction, the entire operation relied on just two 32-ounce poppers. Think about that, how small that is. And the company operates out of a massive facility in Northridge, Ohio, and has expanded its lineup to include cheese curls, caramel corn, and caramel Ditos. And these are still emphasized a small batch, kettle cooked feel. Keeping with the family tradition, Tom and Jennifer, the multi-generational family affair. In 2007, Tim McGuire retired and sold the business to two of his children, Tom and Jennifer, the brand namesake. The transition ensured the company stayed family-owned and operated right there in Ohio, instead of being absorbed by a big snack corporation. So it's still family-owned.
Well, we love any family-owned business, and but tell you what, these guys are doing it the right way, and they have a great product. I don't know how they do it, but I'm going to sit and enjoy some more of this beautiful, crunchy product while I listen to Doug's retail story of the week.
Well, I'm glad you're mowing that down because mine's inspired by a film, one of the top grossing, top voted films of all time. Two main characters, prison inmates, Red and Andy, prisoners. And then Andy, towards the end of the movie, tunneled his way out of his prison and ran to Mexico. And you're wondering, how does that play with my retail story?
After suffering some
Wow.
seriously traumatic instances.
Well, that's true.
That actually traumatized me, and I wasn't even the guy that...
What have you seen? So, have you been to Leechburg? And obviously in the bathroom, men's bathroom, there's a piece of the wall missing a little bit. And then literally there's a note there, and it's still there today. Magic marker, Ryan Rage Mode, 2006.
2009.
Was it 9?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was 6.
Oh, no, I vividly remember.
States, stop this. This is dumb. I'm going to fire whoever's doing this.
I thought
Rage
it was
monkey.
Carl. I thought it was Carl. No offense, Carl. But, it was a long time ago. Carl's a man now. But I thought it was Carl. We had a guy working for us, Carl. Some people called him Buddy.
Yeah.
And he was an entertaining guy. I liked Carl a lot. But I thought Carl was in there. Somebody was in there. Think about this. You got block walls. You got block walls. Who goes into the bathroom stall and just starts chiseling a hole through the what do they call that? Between the block?
The mortar.
Starts freaking chiseling like Michelangelo trying to put in something, tunneling out to the Kiski River where you could just walk around the building. I was upset.
Well, the funny thing is, that happened.
I wrote, if there's no improvement, if there's any improvement on this, I will be watching. There better be no improvement on this. And I dated it June 8th, 2009. Ryan.
You know what's really funny about this?
I'm so mad.
You know what's funny about this?
I'm like, who has time? We're paying you to do a job. You're in the bathroom, trying to tunnel to China. Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Wasn't ragey at all.
No, I mean,
You know what's even funny than the fact that you wrote the sign? It happened in 2001.
oh, I missed it for 8 years?
8 years. So 8 years you missed it. So the reason people don't realize, so when you grew up in a family business, it's different. You were working in the family business, but I grew up in it. So I really didn't have free child time as far as just doing what I want to do publicly, finding myself out, just, not having to work, all those things that most kids get away with. But I mean, I was always had to work and everything else. And so I was watching Shawshank Redemption, and it was 2001. And I'm like, there's no way that guy chiseled out using a ballpoint pen. There's no way. So for 6 weeks, I was chiseling out with a ballpoint pen.
This guy. Meanwhile, poor Carl's taking it. I think I approached him at one point like, Carl, I know it's you, man. I know it's you. And it better stop.
How many times has
Poor Carl.
my decisions in my life affected your life?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Well, that could be a whole other episode.
But shout out to
Andy
Andy and Red
edition episode.
for forcing me to tunnel out of the Leechburg store one piece of mortar at a time.
And apologies again to Carl. Poor Carl. All the pounding Carl took. I mean, I was always subtly oh, Carl. I see a box cutter. What are you gonna do with that, Carl? I was always like
Why did it take you 8 years though?
Well, you know me, like things become a big deal all of a sudden. Like I could walk over something for 50 times in a row, similar to the logo incident. You know, I dealt with the logo for, we developed a brand around the logo, and then all of a sudden I have a panic attack and I wake up and I decide it's got to end. So I'm sure it was the same situation. For 8 years, I was whatever. All of a sudden I'm on an efficiency kick and I'm, in the bathroom and, I look at the wall and I see this, man-made tunnel. It hit my head.
Now, so everybody understands, this is a piece of mortar missing that's less than 3 inches. It's not a tunnel.
But if I was in Ryan efficiency mode, Ryan, everybody better be busy mode, and I see that even little bit, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy is in the bathroom hammering out this hole through the wall while they should be working. Oh, yeah. Efficiency. Yeah. Anyways.
So
that was a good story. And that's crazy that it was you, man. That's crazy that it was you. Poor Carl. Again, sorry, Carl. This guy's a moron.
what did you say to Carl?
I mean, I was just like,
I mean, it sounds like you threw Carl down a flight of steps.
No, it was probably 6 months of like.
Wait, you needled the guy over this bathroom?
Aggressive. Trying to get it out of him.
You're a psycho.
I mean, at the time I was young and,
Psycho.
probably spent too much time on things than I needed to spend.
Poor Carl.
Carl and I had a good relationship, to be fair. I mean, it wasn't as scary as we're making it out, but yeah, maybe it was. Anyways.
That leads us to this week in retail history. Hamloaf is on our minds, and Hamloaf is in our roots. Pennsylvania, Dutch, German Americans culinary tradition. Unlike the standard meatloaf, which is usually ground beef, Hamloaf is distinctive pink color, smoky sweet flavor, and the specific binder, which is interesting that Gahr doesn't use graham cracker crumbs, was the original recipe. Founded in the late 1800s in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
Not shocking. I mean, let's face it, most of the Germans, including us, and some Mennonites along the way, Amish, they all came through Lancaster. And our family came through Lancaster. Uncle Rick traced it, and our family came through Lancaster. Actually, we went across the pond with Mennonites. Who knows if that means we were Mennonites? I mean, generally, if you're traveling with a very, polarizing group, you're involved to a certain extent. But, that's debatable. But we came over with Mennonites. We were in Lancaster. Then our branch of the family moved on to central Pennsylvania to Tyrone and the Altoona area. And then we moved on to where we are now. But, it's not shocking that it came from Lancaster, the German tradition. A lot of them did. A lot of the German traditions, came from Germany through Lancaster and to other parts of the state and country.
Well, it's interesting. The original, it's basically was made using leftovers of the pork ends, basically the ham ends. And it was a value-added, ready-to-bake meal. And the interesting thing, over time, originally it was a lot coarser. It was almost like a meatloaf, like a big meatloaf with those very coarse grinds, and then it became basically somewhere in the middle between that and almost like a porridge. So that's when you bake it; it's really clean, super smooth. But the original name came from the descendant of the German Leberkäse, or Käse, which is the liver cheese, but neither contains either. There's no liver, there's no cheese in it. But then, as it continued. But the fun thing is, today, it's basically the meat ratio of 2 parts ground ham to 1 part ground fresh pork, and then the binder is the graham crackers that's crushed, but obviously other people don't use that. And then the glaze, which gives it that pink kind of color on the outside, is obviously the top part. But then weirdly, as it made it to the Midwest, because Germans, they came and they went from the East Coast up to the Midwest, and that's why Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota is predominantly German heritage. It became balls. They got rid of the loaf. They cut the loaf out and then went right to the balls.
Makes sense. I mean, balls.
Is it a silverware thing, you think?
No, I think it's I think it's easier to manage. You have this loaf, you have to slice it down, you have to distribute it that way. Where if you have it in meatballs, it's just like you said, it's just boom. You can take a toothpick to it, you can just put it in with some pasta or some kind of a rice or something like that. But like no, it's easier to eat that way. But to be honest with you, I like the loaf, man. I like the loaf. I like to slice it down and just eat it in pieces or put it on a sandwich.
2 years ago, I hosted Christmas. I served it.
And
so good.
I'm sure there wasn't a lot of it left.
None. I was I was bummed out.
I mean, that's the thing. Hamloaf is hard to find. I mean, that's why the Gahr family, Jake. That's why what they're doing is so cool because it's hard to find. It's hard to find people that make it. It's hard to find people that make it consistently because you have to have the right grinder. You have to have you have to really be diligent to the mixing of. It's got to be the proper mix, or it's not going to turn out right. And so for him to take that item, for his family to have the foresight, his uncle, to take that item and to really perfect it. And let's face it, he said it, and we know a lot of people in the past and even currently that make their own ham loaf, it's the leftovers. It's the aged stuff. And it doesn't always turn out great. And the quality is not always great. But with his stuff, it's all fresh ingredients, and it's amazing, and I'm so glad that he's kept that tradition going and done it in a way that it's bringing it. Like for people that do try it for the first time, try his, they're getting a great experience, and they're gonna be able to keep doing it. It's gonna keep the tradition, the German tradition, alive.
Das ist gut.
Das ist gut.
Yes, sir. Well, Ron, that was a great episode. Huge thanks to Jake Gahr for stopping in, talking about the Hamloaf history, the USDA landscape, and keeping the community fundraising alive in his area near Oil City, Pennsylvania. If you guys check it out, available at all 3 Sprinkle stores.
Pink gold, baby. Pink gold.
Pink gold.
Depression area recipes that are still around are gray recipes.
And absolutely. And thinking of the valuable lesson we learned today, looking at the 5-pointed Ducal crown of the Leg Parma prosciutto from Italy, the product of the USA label, the meat case, and the transparency of the ultimate currency in 2026.
And, I hope you guys all enjoyed Doug's Shawshank memory. Thankfully, he didn't have to go through some of the detailed experiences of the actual Shawshank movie in the process, but it was still a funny tunneling of sorts.
Well played, sir. Sometimes you have to crawl through all the logistics to get to all the crazy words, including the lift, dealing with a closing time Nomad, and making sure you go from Jenny's old-fashioned popcorn to Gahr's Hamloaf on your way out of the big house.
And if you enjoyed this journey through the origins of Hamloaf and learning about Hamloaf and learning about all things ham, make sure you hit a follow. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends about us so that we can keep on spreading the word, keep on telling our stories, and keep on sharing all of the retail nuances and crazy and interesting stories from around the world.
Guys, we really appreciate all the support as always. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you for following it. I'm Doug.
I'm Ryan.
And we can't do what we do without you.
Come and see us.
Woo! Okie dokie. Oh, I need to call Dad, get on tilt real quick.
Wait, no, don't call him.
He called me. I missed a call.
We gotta get filming, man, because I'm out of here at 5:20. I have to leave.
I know, we'll be fine.